Hello world and Aho inhabitant, I'm back just like I said I'd be. Got my classroom supplies in the background because I can't take them in until next week, but it's all good. The air conditioning is in this room, so that's why I'm in this room. I just wanted to make the video that I said I was going to make about why I abandoned that summer in the poem project. Some of you may have already read my blog post, but if you'd rather me explain it to you verbally, that's what this is going to be. So, welcome. So just gonna jump right into it. I started writing that summer when I was 18. It was the first book I published. All like growing up, ever since I decided I wanted to be a writer, I was like, I want to have a book published by the time I'm 18. Like I wanted to have a book published when I was still in high school. Thank the Lord I did not go through with any of that. Like the books I wrote in high school were much worse. But I was just, I was in a rush to get my name out there, get my writing out there, get my brand out there, so much so that I did not put as much effort into any of those things as I should have. And I started writing that summer when I was not in a great place, and I started writing it to cope with what was going on in my life. And it ended up being just not so much of a book, but like it was trying to be a letter to a specific person who did not want to talk to me. And I guess I knew all along that's what it was trying to be, but I wanted to believe like this is a book, this is a really good book that I've written. But it really came down to the fact that like there was no point. Like I said in my mistakes I made with my debut novel video, there was no point in which I was proud of that entire series or like even an entire book within that series. I was proud of certain parts of it, but I was never proud of any of the 3 novels as a whole. And I just wanted to get it out there because it was what I saw as the one way I could communicate with a person who did not want to communicate with me, was to write her this trilogy. And at that point in my life, I was working retail, like I was going to community college, but like still lived with my mom, like never been out on my own. And then in 2018, when I graduated community college and went out on my own, that first year, honestly, I always thought it was like such a cliche, like you get out on your own and you learn so much about yourself. No, that's legit. Like the first year that I was on my own, I learned so much about myself, and both as a person and as a writer. And it just changed my perspective on all the projects that I was working on, including ones I had yet to publish. Some of them I have abandoned, some of them I'm still planning to finish someday. But the way I saw it is like, well, I've already got the first 2 books of that summer out, so I gotta just finish this series. Mom didn't raise a quitter. I gotta finish the series, and then I can move on to something I'm actually excited about. And it had already been like 2 years since book 2 had come out. Like I just legitimately did not have the money to pay my editor for book 3. And having read books that did not use an editor, I will never not be using an editor. just gonna lay that one down. Like y'all read my books after an editor had seen them, like after an editor had helped me with them. Like, can you imagine if I had not had an editor? I can, because I've seen the unedited drafts of those. They're still on my old hard drive somewhere, like on my old laptop. Not pretty. So like, it's crappy as I think they are now. Like, can you imagine if I hadn't even used an editor? So like, book 3 was not going out without an editor. That was just not happening. And then, so I got money for Christmas in 2018. So early 2019, I started editing. I sent my editor book 3 and we started working on it, and she sent me back all the edits. And so I was like, okay, perfect. And then I got my summer job, and I worked at a summer camp, and it was one of my, every job I have, I say is one of my favorite jobs I've ever had. But I loved being a camp counselor, loved it so much. There were parts of it that I did not enjoy, but for the most part, I loved being a camp counselor, made me really excited to be a teacher. And I saved up the money that I needed to get the rest of the book edited. And so when my summer job was over, I went back to school, and in my free time, I started working on the edits for book 3. And I got through like a few of them. I was just like, I got through the easy ones that were just like, you know, change this sentence around, introduce this character at a different point, like take this scene out, it doesn't work. I got through the easy ones. And then I was just staring at it and I was like, I have no desire to work on this. Like, this is a series I wrote when I was 18. Like, it will always have a special place in my heart, but at the end of the day, like, I don't want to put any more work into this. I'm not invested in it. Like, my heart is not in it. And I'm sure, like, y'all would be able to tell that if I were to go through with it. Not only that, but like, for July and most of August, I had to be on call for kids 22 hours a day, like 6 days a week. So, you know, after doing all that to make that money, I was like, is this really what I want to spend this money on? Like, why? Like, I just don't want to put my hard-earned money into this series when I could be putting it into something that I'm actually proud of. Because I had already been like, while I was waiting to get that edited, I already started working on other projects and that I was proud of, that I am proud of. And so it just got to this point where I was like, I just emailed my editor and I was like, I just can't do this. Like, to be honest with you, I am not going to continue this project. And then I thought about, like, well, am I going to leave the first 2 books up? Because without the 3rd book, like, it's one of those things. It's like you need the context for everything. Like, a lot of the things that happen in the first 2 books are because there's context in the 3rd book. And I just didn't like them being out there with no context. And at the end of the day, I didn't like them being out there at all. Like, I am not proud of those books. I'm proud of certain scenes of them. I'm proud of myself for writing as well as I did at 18/19. But I am not proud of those books. I do not really want them associated with my brand. And like, I know, like, whoever's already bought them has them. I can't take that back. I just want to minimize the amount of reach that they're going to have, because I don't stand by a lot of the things. I don't stand by a lot of the plot elements, a lot of the ways I wrote those books. I don't stand by the purpose for which I wrote those books anymore. Like, seriously, like, 18-year-old Liv, just go to therapy. And like, having taken like classes in the English major on like reading and writing, specifically young adult novels, I just learned a lot about myself as a writer. And I thought, like, this is not the kind of work that I want to have published under my name. And so in 2020, I made the decision to take them off Amazon. And I left all the extras posts up on my blog because, you know, like, obviously whoever bought the book already has it. So, like, I might as well just leave those behind the scenes features out there for the people who already have the books. And also I worked really hard on those. Like, I worked harder on those extra posts than I worked on the actual book, I feel like. And also, like, I had a lot of fun doing those extras posts. And so, you know, if you are one of the few people who happens to have a copy of one or both of that summer novels, then you deserve to have access to the extras posts. Like, I stand by my commentary, I guess. How do I word that? I stand by my commentary. I haven't even read my extras posts in a while. Like, I don't go back and reread my blog for fun. So I don't even remember what I said on one of those extras posts. Maybe I will take those down. I don't know. But for now, they're up. I'm leaving them up. And then that brings us to the poem project. So I haven't completely abandoned the poem project. However, it is on hold indefinitely. And the reason for that is, basically, I started the poem project instead of going to therapy. No, I started the poem project to just process my emotions. So instead of going to therapy. And you know, it was very raw, and that's how I wanted it. I wanted it to be my raw emotions. I didn't want it to be like edited and filtered and all of that. However, after my first year of college, when I was on my own for the first time and made all these new important relationships and just had a better understanding of myself as a person, as a friend, as a writer, my worth as a person, I just was not was not really excited about the fact that a very, very vulnerable take on a good portion of my late teenage, early adult life was available for anyone who wanted to read it and had money. But so I one day plan to publish poems about those times in my life, particularly the second one that never saw the light of day. I especially plan to release, I plan to eventually release those poem projects because I did work really hard on them. There's 4 of them. I only ended up publishing 1 before I took them down, but I did work really hard on them, and they tell stories that are very important to me that I just can't tell through one of my fiction novels, through any of my fiction projects. However, I don't want those to be the only things associated with my brand. And I also, like, I know my whole approach with them was to be like unfiltered, unedited, real and raw. That being said, I definitely want to get an editor to look at them. Like, I am never publishing anything that an editor has not looked at ever again. After I read or beta read books from multiple authors who thought they were too good for an editor. So there's that. That's just that's just. And like, and even like, I think I mentioned in my mistakes I made with my debut novel video, like I didn't even splurge for copy edits. I just got developmental and line edits. No, whole 9 yards. I'm getting everything edited all the way. Like, if I'm putting my name on it, it's gonna be as good as it can be, as good as I can make it, which is gonna mean it's gonna need to go through edits, which now I have a full-time job. Don't know exactly how much I'll be able to save every paycheck because I am a teacher. And still waiting for Jill Biden to come through with that professional level pay for teachers. So if you're watching this, Jill, I'm rooting for you. Anyway, side tangents. So yeah, so the poem project is not gone forever. Like, it's on hold indefinitely, and I definitely want to get some of my fiction projects, at least one of my fiction projects, preferably more. But before I put like a nonfiction, very vulnerable series out there, I want to show y'all what I'm capable of as a writer. Not just, here's the 4 most traumatic things that have ever happened to me in poem form. So that being said, they're on the back burner. They're mostly finished, except for being edited, but they're on the back burner. So what I'm focusing on for now, you can find a beta application for in the description below. I would love to have more beta readers on this project. I'm still accepting beta readers. I will let y'all know if that changes. I'll edit the description and take the link out. So if you don't see the link, that means applications are closed. But for now, they're open. I really don't have that many at the moment, so I'm trying to get more. I say that as if beta slots are in high demand right now. I have 2 beta readers. I need more. Please beta read for me. And so I do want to talk a little bit about what that project is about. You can read about it in the application or on my Instagram. There's a description of it. But I started writing this book towards the end of 2019 and just really got into it during the pandemic. That was my comfort novel. When I tell you what it's about, y'all are gonna be like, that was your comfort novel, Liv, really? But it was my comfort project, and it just I got most of my work done on it when I had literally nothing else to do. So it is called Saving Summer, and for a while I was like, should that really be the first thing that I go with, because the series that I just took down was called That Summer, but this is a standalone novel, and I'm really passionate about it. I'm really proud of it, and I just I want this to be the project I'm focused on. I do have other projects that I'm proud of and excited about, but I just really want to do this one first, and I think it's a good, I guess, starter project, even though I've already published and unpublished 2 different series. I think it's a really good starter project in a sense, if you can even call it my starter project anymore. But because it is a standalone novel, like it's not a series, it's a standalone novel, so it can be out there and I don't have to feel pressured about when I'm going to get the next book in the series out there, because as I stated in my last video, I work full-time and I'm in grad school. Got a lot going on. So the book is about, so the book is called Saving Summer because it is about a teenage girl named Summer. Let me just read y'all the description. Summer Madison was annoying. She was always there trying to force herself into Nolan's life, no matter how much he showed her he didn't want her to be a part of it. Even worse, they were supposed to go on the same student trip to Europe this summer until news breaks of Summer's death, and her peers begin to speculate that the cause may have been suicide. Nolan knew he wasn't always the nicest person to her, but he is certain he had nothing to do with her death, certain enough to wish for the chance to undo anything he may have done that led to it. So that's the premise. It's going to be told in alternating first-person point of view between Nolan and Summer. And obviously, trigger warning for suicide mentions, self-harm mentions. I don't give graphic descriptions of suicide or self-harm. Like, this is not Netflix 13 Reasons Why. I do not include graphic descriptions. However, those are pretty central to the plot. So if that's something you're triggered by, which, like, I understand many people are, this is probably not the project you want to beta read. And that of course is why I am kind of that of course is why I do not currently have a lot of beta readers. It's because a lot of my friends have reached out to me and been like, oh, I would love to beta read for you, but that's a triggering subject for me. And it's like, you know, I completely understand that. So if you want to support me, you can't, because that's something that's triggering for you. Please don't feel bad. I will have much happier projects in the works after this. So the novel, it's roughly 350 pages in Microsoft Word. I don't know how that will translate to a formatted novel, but for the PDF version, it's like 350 pages. It's young adult fiction. However, like there's no like specific background I'm looking for. However, I do want at least 3 to 5 beta readers who are in the autism community. By that I mean you have autism, not you have a very close friend who does, so you think you know everything about it. As an autistic woman myself, I am using my own perspective to write some of these characters. However, I'm one person, and the community is like millions of people. So obviously, I'm not the national spokesperson for what it's like to go to high school with autism. Like, I am not the end all be all of what it's like to have autism. Like, I want more opinions, more perspectives. But that being said, like, I do want beta readers from all different backgrounds, all different demographics. So I just specifically want at least 3 to 5 who have autism to help me with those characters. So I think that's generally what so that's pretty much everything that's in the beta reader application. You can find the link in my description box if you're interested. I look forward to working with y'all, and I look forward to seeing y'all soon for my next video. I'm hoping to film an apartment tour, but my stuff's not here yet, so I'm trying to think of like if I want to have like a regular upload schedule or if I want to just be sporadic about it. We'll see. But yeah, I will see y'all next time I make a video. Bye.